Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again. Another edition of the Rico Report brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. Let's go, folks. We got a good one tonight, man. We've got a good one tonight. There's a lot of questions, and as we get closer to draft day, I feel like we're still in a position right now where we absolutely have no idea the direction that these Bills are going to go into. I don't know about you guys, but I got no idea. No idea. Not even close. Last year we could make, you know what I'm saying? We could make, you know what I mean, some semblance of what this team was gonna be up to. We knew what we needed. Cornerback was the route we knew we needed to take. And when we took it, it didn't surprise any of us. Were we shocked by it? No. Was that your pick? Was that your pick? Everybody had their guy that they wanted, but at the end of the day, we knew what direction we needed to go in. Now, when you go into this year, I was scratching my head. I'm like, where are we going? What are we doing? Are we going the offensive side of the ball? Do we need to? I mean, we were a top 5 offense last year with a first-year play caller, and we were still lighting things up. Did we slow down a little bit in the back end of the season? Of course, we get banged up. Things start, teams start to figure things out. It happens, but we were still a very good offense. Obviously, it helps when you have an elite quarterback, when you have an elite receiver, and some great pieces around. But the offense still did work. So, do we need to add to the offense? Then you go to the defense side of the ball. You go back and look at the Bengals game. You could look everywhere and say, well, we could need some help at safety, but we were banged up at safety. Well, we could use some help at linebacker since we lost Tremaine Edmonds. Okay, we know that. We didn't get any pressure on the line since Von Miller left. We know we can look at the defensive line. There's so many places we could possibly look, but are we going to go there? We brought some pieces back. We're going to get healthier. So where do we go? Offense, defense? Do we trade the pick? What direction is Brandon Beane going to go? And this year is pretty puzzling to me because I really don't know. There's some really solid prospects in this draft, and you hear the experts talk about it's not a very good draft for safety. It's a weak draft for safety. You know what I mean? There's some good receivers out there, but not many of them are worthy of a first round draft pick. So a lot of these guys are going to go in the second and third. All right, so then what the heck do we do? Do we reach and go for a position they say that isn't valued, isn't good enough to be taken in the first? I mean, we're picking 27th, and we're going to be doing that for a long time, picking late in the first. So does it really matter if it's a first round? I mean, the most important thing is when you draft a first rounder, the most important thing is that 5th-year option, right? Is it that person? Is he that dude? Did we make a mistake, right? Tremaine Edmonds, gone, right? We obviously knew that. I mean, the Bills were like, hey, go and test the market. And if it's for you, you're out of here. And most times when you don't want a player to leave, you lock them up. Matt Milano. They didn't want Matt Milano leaving, so they locked his ass up. So we made a decision to let someone like Tremaine Edmonds test the market and go. Could we have given him the big bag? Of course. But obviously, Brandon Beane didn't feel that was necessary. to pay that type of money, 18 million a year. Now, no slight on Tremaine Edmonds. You got to go and get yours. If they value you like that, go and get yours, my guy. That's the way it should be done. You know what I'm saying? By the way, salute to everybody tuned in to the Rico Report. Salute to my guy Richard Forbes. I see you, Rich. I see you, my guy. I see my man uh David Stevens, D. Raleigh. I see you. If you guys have been here and you guys have been following us for a long time, salute to you guys. Listen, this channel goes nowhere without you guys supporting and showing us love. There's a tab that lets me know how long that you've been if you're a member of the Bing Squad, how long you've been a member of the Bing Squad. Put that in there. I'd like to see interact with you guys and see what's going on. Folks, before we get into the nitty-gritty and talking Bills chat, because we're gonna get into that. Uh, News around the league. You got to talk about it. OBJ signs a pretty lucrative deal for a guy that's got two ACL tears in his knee, hasn't played meaningful football in quite some time, and he signs with the Ravens. And some people want to get mad at him. I mean, I don't want to say they get mad at him per se, but some folks are, oh, he's chasing the money. He's talking about he wants to be he wants to be with a contender. He's just chasing the bag when he doesn't even know who's throwing the football to him. Let me tell you something, man. First things first, the money comes first. You know what I'm saying? I don't play this. I mean, I play this for the love of the game, but I'm putting my health and my life at risk. If you've seen it, one hit could be your last. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to take care of not only yourself, but your family and your family's family and so on and so forth. But here he is going to the Ravens. So it's going to be OBJ, Nelson Aguilar, Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins holding it down for the Ravens. Very interesting. Notice I didn't mention the quarterback because we still don't know what's going on with Lamar Jackson. Now, I'll tell you this. There's a picture circulating. If them boy talking on FaceTime, you know what I mean? Trust this, trust that. Well, could it be that OBJ going to the Ravens entices Lamar Jackson to go back to the table and talk with these guys and see if they can iron something out? It's business at the end of the day. It's never personal. It's business. So hopefully they can iron something out and we can see what is to be about OBJ. Is he gonna be back to normal? Is he a shell of his former self? You finally put a competent receiver in the house with Lamar Jackson. Will Lamar Jackson flourish? You got Nelson Aguilar that can be a complementary piece that can get downfield. Maybe the offense looks different. And you know they're going to run the rock. And guess what? Greg Roman's not there anymore. So you're going to have a different play caller, which completely changes the philosophy of the Ravens. Maybe it's a different team. Maybe he goes back and says, okay, hold on now. Now that you've given me some pieces, maybe I'll, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll knock off a couple dollars. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, but it's going to be an interesting one for the Ravens. But I'm glad that they're making strides, meaning they're putting some pieces on the team. I certainly don't think they're putting it together for Snoop. If you guys know what I'm talking about Huntley. I know that I'm putting OBJ and Andrews and all those guys for Huntley. Can't be. You know what I'm saying? Or there's a major trade that happens draft day. Who the heck knows? But chances are it's probably going to be Lamar Jackson throwing the football in Baltimore. I can't see it any other way. Can't see it any other way. In other news, Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Devin White has requested a trade. And lo and behold, it's getting some buzz, getting some chatter from folks around the league. But the Bucs quickly shut that ish down. They said, we have absolutely no intentions on trading Devin White. Heck no. So Devin White chose a very good time. I mean, whether you want to call it a very good time or not, but Devin White chose a very good time to put that information out there right near draft. So it's like before the draft, enough to get a buzz, enough to hear, you know what I mean, teams to see, oh, hold on a second. I know that these linebackers, if Devin White were in this draft right now, he'd be a first rounder because he was a first rounder. So shoot, he's available. Dang. But Devin White being available, there's money involved. So right now, 11.7 mil is probably potentially what you'd be getting him for, plus negotiating a new contract. Our team is willing and ready to do that. Who knows? I like Devin White. Devin White is a solid linebacker. I can't help but front. I can't even listen. I'm not gonna front. I can't help but say, listen, I thought about it. Ooh, Devin White? Devin White in a Bills uni right next to Mont Milano. Wouldn't that be something? That'd be interesting. But then here comes Bills fans. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. 11.7 million? I don't know. That's pretty hefty. I don't know if I could do that. Did you want to pay 18? Did you want to pay 18 mil? Or would you rather pay 11? And then potentially, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to work something out. But some people want to say, hey, 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 he can't cover. That's okay. Because we have Matt Milano that can now. If we had two linebackers that can't cover, I'd have a problem. I'd have a problem. If this guy is a run stopping linebacker, what we would like, what we need. He is a blitzing linebacker, what we would like because we don't get the pressure. So a guy like Devin White would be an interesting addition to a McDermott-led defense, which is an aggressive style defense. So you don't think that he would rejoice in having a guy like Devin White man the middle, and you don't have to worry about him at all in the middle because that boy can thud. I'm just saying. Shout out to my man Don Trotman. I see you, Don. Me and Don almost had beef today. He said that we're not going to draft a running back. Beef. We got beef. We don't know that. Let me have that small hope that we're going to do it. But let me say this, man. Don Trotman says would love to have White. Kid can fly. You absolutely right. But guess what? Guess what, Don? People are already talking about. Did you look at his PFF coverage? He can't cover for crap. He can't do this. He can't do that. Listen, everybody's got their strengths. Everybody's got their strengths. Guess what? We had a guy that can cover in Matt in excuse me in Tremaine Edmonds, but we had an issue with him when it came to him getting after getting on the blitz and get out there, missing tackles and bad angles and anticipation. We got on his ass for that. And now that there is potentially, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, but just hypothetically, Devin White being available, here are the issues with Devin White. What there aren't any players in this league that have flaws. You don't think Milano has flaws? Milano is notorious for missing at least one big tackle a game. We know that. But golly, he's solid though. That boy is OG. So Devin White would be a nice addition to the Bills. Oh, would that be nice? But it's probably not gonna happen. But you never say never in this game. You never say never. By the way, shout out to my man James. What's up, James? James comes in and says, "Yo, Rico, who you giving up for White?" I don't think it's a who. I think it's a what. I think it would probably be a what because it's near draft time, and you know what I mean. Teams are looking for picks. Teams are looking for picks, and if I were to give somebody up, I would not have a problem giving up Ed Oliver for Devin White. You tell me. Let's make a swap. We what? What do we owe? What do we owe Ed Oliver? 10 mil? I think we can make something happen. Yo, you take the 10 mil. I'll take the 11. Let's swap. You get a DT. I get a linebacker. Everybody's happy. Let's call it a day. You know what I'm saying? So if I have to give up somebody, hypothetically speaking, obviously, then yeah, Ed Oliver, ride on. You can ride on to Tampa. You know what I'm saying? And we'll take Devin White in a heartbeat. But we're talking hypothetically speaking here. So it's most likely not going to happen. But get on that. I can't even take myself serious right now. I'm sorry. But you guys know what I'm talking about. And my man Pierre says, yo, man, listen, guys, all this money you guys talking about, it ain't your money. It ain't your money. It ain't my money. It's monopoly money. They gonna figure it out one way or another. They will figure out one way or another. If we gotta come out of pocket and pay somebody that we love, then it's gonna happen. But anyway, it doesn't matter anyway because the Buccaneers said they are absolutely not trading him. They have zero interest in trading him. It's not happening. There's zero intention. And I quote, end quote. So there's that. There's that. So anyway, fun show. Just let me get in there. Lions trade Jeff Okuda. Wasn't Jeff Okuda the corner out of Utah? I don't know who. I don't know. I can't remember who was making such a big hype. Him coming out of Utah. And I remember seeing, oh, Jeff Okuda out of Utah is going to be this and that and third. Guess what, folks? He's gone. third overall pick, I believe, if I remember correctly, traded to Atlanta for a fifth round pick. Life moves fast, bro. Life moves fast. But apparently, this was a move that needed to be done. It's great for the Lions. They move on from a guy that they feel like maybe just wasn't a good fit. They get back a fifth, and Atlanta gets a corner that could rejuvenate his career. And they've added some huge pieces in Atlanta, Jesse Bates being one of them. So there's some Atlanta's really putting some things together. So maybe was it Ohio State? I thought it was Utah. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I apologize. Ohio State. Anyways, I heard it was like huge, big time player coming out of, you know what I'm saying? I heard big things coming out of there. Anyway, so he got traded to Atlanta. But you know how it goes, man. Sometimes they get rid of you thinking that you're a bum, and then you rejuvenate your career, a la Jerry Hughes. The Colts were like, nah, fam, it ain't working out for us. You gotta go. We'll take Kelvin Shepard. Kelvin Shepard is now a Lions coach right now. I think he's the Lions linebacker coach right now. Or I can't remember where he's at. I know he's coaching. So Kelvin Shepard coaching, Jerry Hughes still in the league. And guess what? He rejuvenated his career when he came to Buffalo. Just saying. So Jeff Okudah could come out and just be that guy that he was supposed to be coming out of Ohio State. But here we are. Here we are. Folks, we got some things to talk about. And let's get right into it. Here's the deal, man. The 27th pick. Once again, we're picking late. What are we doing with that pick? What makes sense for the Bills? We can all make a case for what side of the ball we should draft. And each and every one of us in the chat right now. Richard Forbes, if I said, Richard, who are we picking? He tells, hey, man, I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball, and I want an offensive tackle. I want to protect Josh Allen. And you know what? That could be a route that we go. Steven Rose might come in and say, man, hey, tight end is what we need. If you really think about it, man, there's some really good tight ends in the draft. And if we can nail both the need of having a freak tight end that can run rights like a receiver, block like a left tackle, dude, Bob's your uncle. Let's roll. You can even make a case for defensive tackle. What if one of these big time defensive tackles drops to 27th? And here's the deal. Here's what I think my man Pierre put this in my ear. You know how the group chats go. Bill Polian, revered, he's loved, he's respected in the league. Bill Polian, I don't got to say anything else. You already know who Bill Polian is. Bill Polian said something, and we discussed this at length, right? And this is how I'm going to start this off. Bill Polian has had success in this league. It's documented. It's known. We ain't got to debate about it. He said, your first, and I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have the audio with me right now, but he said, your first two picks should never be a need. Should always be the best player available. And I thought about that, and I was like, damn, you know what? I like that philosophy. You can't necessarily go for need, because you can get burned really bad if you go for need. Let's do a prime example. We'll use the Bills, and I'll use a GM that you guys love to hate, but I still F with this guy. Okay. Remember Sammy Watkins? We traded up for Sammy Watkins. We knew that the Bills needed a receiver. We needed a spark, right? And we gave up a whole lot of picks to move up and take Sammy Watkins. A lot of assets. Move up to number 4. And we pick up Sammy freaking Watkins. Sammy Watkins, still in the league right now, but is a journeyman. It looked promising for the first couple of years. But my guy Doug Whaley gets a lot of flack for jumping that many picks to pick up Sammy Watkins. And if you look back at that draft Holy crow, there were some receivers in that draft. He could have chilled. We could have easily picked up OBJ, right? But we picked up Sammy Watkins. We drafted for need and it burned us. It burned us. So it took some time for us to recover. And Doug Whaley still hears it to this day from Bills fans. I liked Sammy Watkins. I thought it was a chill pickup. I was like, okay, we trading up. It's exciting. When you hear a team is trading up, oh shit, we're getting the guy that we need is going to turn this franchise around. Problem is, we didn't have the quarterback for it. Problem is, Mans couldn't stay healthy. So back to Bill Polian saying you don't draft your first two picks for need. You draft best player available. So when I look back and look at what Brandon Beane has done, and let's just recently look at this, right? Would you say moving up and drafting cornerback out of Florida, was that best player available? Or was that did we draft for need? Or did that hit both? Because if I remember correctly, Brandon B was like he was our best player on our board ready to take. But I don't want to look at, I mean, you got to go by their board because that's their board. But like, were there any players that we could have chosen that hindsight, you look at it, holy crap, this guy's a dog. We could have picked this player up. Let's go the year before that. Well, let's just look at a couple of years back, right? So let's go. Was picking up Greg Rousseau, was that the best player available at the time? Some might argue, yeah, that was a great pickup. Could we have, were there any better pickups? You know what I'm saying? So like when you look at going into this draft here, what are our needs? Really, what are the Bills' needs right now? What do we need right now? Let's run it down. We don't need a quarterback. Do we need a running back? If you think about it, we don't. We don't need a running back right now. Do we need a receiver right now? Some might say we do. Stephon Diggs, 29 years old, going to be 30 in the middle of the season. We got Gabe Davis, that's going into his final year of his deal, and we picked up Hardy, and then we picked up the receiver from Miami. We let go of McKenzie. So right now, and then we obviously, you know what I'm saying, we have some return. We have return man, and we have some depth in Shakir. So do we need receiver? Some might say yes, we do. So will that be the pick? Are we going for need, or are we going to go for best player available? What if we have a defensive tackle that has gotten into trouble and has fallen, and now the Bills are up? And we sure could use a receiver, but golly, this player right here is a game changer. But we already have enough of those players. But he's the best player on the board. What do you follow? Do you follow your board and the needs that you have, or do you follow what's clearly the best player and something has happened and this player is dropped because of some off-field nonsense? Those things do happen in this draft. Drafts are so bonkers. Just anything can happen. So I wonder what direction is Brandon Beane going to pull the trigger? So let's talk about it. So my man, Bobby, has been hard at work. And I got to salute my guy, Bobby, because this boy's been putting in work and he's just dropping gems all over the place. I mean, I remember just a week ago, just a week ago, Jack Campbell was the talk of the town. Everybody was talking Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell this, Jack Campbell that. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I had my man Rev on, and he was putting me on game on Jack Campbell. I was like, ooh, okay. Today, and Jack Campbell's an afterthought. Now it's Drew Sanders. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man Bobby, because Bobby put it out there. And I see things are swaying. So let's take a look. My man Bobby put out draft needs and key positions that the Bills certainly should be looking at. If you look, let's start with the linebacking position. Drew Sanders, you got Trenton Simpson, Jack Campbell's on the list, Henry To'o, and you got Noah Sewell. They're your linebackers. And you see that little tick? Drew Sanders is gaining a lot of popularity right now amongst people online. Let's go to the receiver position. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Most say he'll be probably gone within the first 15 picks. Then you got Zay Flowers, which I am really enamored with. Starting to do a little more homework, and I'm like, golly, Bucky Brooks really put it in my head that this is the clone of Antonio Brown. Forget about Antonio Brown's off-field antics and bring on Antonio Brown, the football player. That boy is a star. That Antonio Brown was damn good, Hall of Fame good, if he just got his act together. So Zay Flowers gives you Antonio Brown feel. Quentin Johnson, big 6'3" receiver. You got Jordan Addison, slot receiver that can play inside and out. 5'11", almost 6 feet, give or take. And then you got Josh Downs, a smaller slot receiver. But are we trying to go to a small slot receiver? We had that in Isaiah McKenzie. Did that work out for us? We had that in Cole Beasley this year, older. Didn't quite work out for us. Last but not least, let's go to O-line and D-line. Paris Johnson, Darnell Wright, DeJuan Jones, a big boy DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 3 and change. And I'm talking about a lot of change. Osiris Torrance, and you got Steve Avila. Jalen Carter. Obviously, his name is in the news. It's not looking good, but you never know how that can happen. Brian Breeze, can drop. Keanu Benton is starting to get a lot of buzz right now. Nolan Smith, I hear, potentially could drop. Doubtful, but you never know. And then you got Will McDonald. So many things can happen in this draft. What direction does freaking Brandon Beane go? So here's the deal, folks. Do we trade down? Accumulate picks? What about trading up? Because right now I'm hearing the Bills potentially could be trading up. Trading up to get who and what? And this is why this draft is so crazy, because we have no idea what direction this brother's going to go. So let's now play the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to figure things out as to what we need. So let's go to the offense side of the ball. I kind of pled my case for the receiver position on what we have. Diggs is going to be 30 soon. Obviously, we have 2 new receivers that came on a 1-year deal, pretty much. And you got Khalil Shakir going into his 2nd year. And then you got Gabe Davis going into his final year of his deal. There's a lot of things in flux. And here's how I got to look at it. Hypothetically, if Josh Allen were to go down, we're effed. I think we all know that, right? Any top tier quarterback, they go down, it's a wrap. But when you go to the receiver position, let's go to the running back position. If James Cook goes down, are you worried? Are you like, oh no, James Cook is hurt, we're doomed? You're not. You're not going to feel that way. You're like, all right, next man up. Right? Damien Harris, you got it. That's why we brought you in. Naeem Hines, show us what you got. You're not really losing any sleep. Damien Harris goes down. You're like, okay, we're used to that because he's been a guy that gets frequently injured as of late. So James Cook, step your game up. So nobody's really losing sleep if any of the running backs go down. Let's go to the receiver room. Stephon Diggs goes down. Are you comfortable with Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, Deontay Hardy as your receiving package for your quarterback? Heck no, you ain't comfortable with that. Especially knowing what's in your division. And these boys are going to be putting up points. In order for us to stay on top, we got to put points on the board. And you lose your main guy in Stephon Diggs, we're in trouble. So that's a route that you definitely can see Brandon Beane saying, dude, we need to get a receiver. Especially if Buddy gets serious injury, Gabe Davis leaves and bails on us. We're stuck with just Shakir. Problem. We need to get a receiver ASAP. That might be the route that we take in round one. My man Don Trotman says, yo, you proved your own point about the RB position. RB goes down, you can still move on. Yeah, but I'm talking about these guys aren't anything special. Let's move on. Let's go to the Tennessee Titans. King Henry goes down, you're in trouble. You're in El Trouble. It's just what it is, man. Special backs, when they go down, it's a different ballgame. It's a very different game. So I didn't prove any point. My point is, we have guys on this team that they're just whatever. Fill the void. But you get a special one, it's a different ballgame. But that's neither here nor there because I get your point. But we're on to receiver. So you have greater panic if your main guy goes down, which is Stephon Diggs, because he's a big part of this offense. Big part. Let's go to the offensive line. The line shuffles like crazy, right? We've had Deion Dawkins down. We shuffle. We were okay, right? We weren't great, but we're okay, right? We had Spencer Brown go down. Questenberry jumps in. We manage. Wasn't great, but we manage, right? Bates shuffles a little bit. I mean, there was so much shuffling going on the line, which happens often. So, like, is there a need for us to draft someone early in the first round? But I also understand that we've got to protect our quarterback. We have to. Do we jump in and grab a guy like DeJuan Jones? So we draft DeJuan Jones with the 27th pick. What message does it send to Spencer Brown? That we draft you to the third round and sorry, not going to work out. We don't like what we see. I doubt that's going to happen because there was a big endorsement by Brandon Beane saying, hey, he was nursing a back injury. He wasn't himself. Wait till he gets, get going. He'll be right back to it. You draft a left tackle. What does it tell Deion Dawkins? It just, you know what I'm saying? Now, could you go guard? But do you draft a guard that high? Wouldn't you want to wait till second round? I'm waiting till second round. I'm waiting till later rounds to draft that guard. So let's go. I'm not taking the O-line. To me, I'm out on the O-line. If they take it, so be it. But I can't see us going that direction, especially with the first round pick. D-line. You saw what happened when Von Miller gone. No pressure. We didn't get enough pressure on the line. Greg Rousseau is fantastic. He's great. Going to his third year, we're going to see a huge bump on our guy, Greg Rousseau. But across the line, not a whole lot. Jordan Phillips nursing an injury. Shaq Lawson had some really good moments, but a solid depth piece. Boogie Basham, not a whole lot. AJ Epinesa, are we getting the dividends for a second round draft pick? Not so much. I'm not saying he's a bum, but we didn't get what we needed to get from him. So could defensive line be the draft pick? But most people are going to say, man, I'm sick of it, man. Didn't we just draft 2 defensive linemen just a couple years ago? Golly, enough already. Let's move on to another. But if the best player available happens to be defensive line, where if it's a defensive tackle or a DE, do you skip on that? You can't. You got to take the best player available. So I say all these things and I drop all these things because to me, you got to go best player available. You can't go for need. And I know the need right now is our receiver, but if something available comes on the defensive front, you can't skip it. You can't just scoff at it. And I hope Beane doesn't do that. I doubt he will. And when I look at the needs that we have, and I look at the linebacker, because right now we lose Edmonds. Edmonds was a big piece of this defense. But if you think about it, let me bring myself back. If you think about it, whenever Edmonds was out, you had an AJ Klein come in or a Terrell Dodson come in. They fared pretty well. But then, do you think Brandon Beane is content with going with Matt Milano and Terrell Dodson? Do you think he's content with going Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard? Do you think he's okay with that? Do you think he'll go Matt Milano and Balin Spector? It doesn't seem like that's the route that Brandon Beane would go, especially because we just lost a big-time player in Edmonds. Edmonds was no scrub. He was a solid player. The contract tells you that. He was wanted. He was coveted. So is linebacker the pick for the 27th pick? Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick at all. And right now, top 5 linebackers the Bills should draft. My man Bobby Ray came through, and this is his list. And he's making a lot of good points, man. First of all, Drew Sanders, I'm doing a lot more, getting more information on Drew Sanders. The 6'4", 235-pound linebacker, transfers from Alabama. He's a versatile player, can play on the line, can play middle linebacker, can play off the ball. That is what you call a McDermott football player. Oh, you want me to rush the passer? Got you. Oh, you want me to jump back in coverage? Got you. Oh, you want me to be off the ball? I got you as well. That is a McDermott type player right there. Almost like, and I'm not going to compare the two, but Parsons can do it all. You want him in coverage? Cool. He's got you. You want to rush the passer? He's got you. You want him to, you know what I'm saying, stay in coverage and do what he's got. Dude is a phenomenal player. Am I saying that Sanders is like that? Not at all. But the fact that he's multiple is huge. And that would be huge for this defense. Back to the list. You got Drew Sanders. You got Henley, 6'1", 225, a little smaller, and on the linebacker spot. You got Trenton Simpson, 6'2", 235 out of Clemson. I'm hearing a lot of things move on for this guy. This is great. He's moving up the board. You got Ivan Pace. Pierre, my man Pierre, loves Ivan Pace. He's a little smaller, but he's stout. But he's instinctive. Don't look at the size too much, because London Fletcher, 5'9" linebacker, packed a punch and was a solid linebacker. I'm still mad to this day that they let him walk. They didn't want to pay him. And yet he still had a great career when he went to Washington and so on. And last but not least, Dorian Williams, 6'1", 228 out of Tulane. So the linebacker position is very much in play for the Bills. Is it a popular one? Knowing what we have lost? And is there comfort? Do you seek comfort in the guys that you have on right now? I don't know, man. My man Namdi comes in and says, Rico, the problem is none of the linebackers in this year are worth the 27th pick. And this is my question. Are they worth going up and grabbing a linebacker at 27, or do you wait? Do you let the right one fall to you? Boom. Johnny Blaze says, yo, Rico's buying in just like he bought into Max Borgi. Yo, I didn't buy into Max Borgi. Speaking of Max Borgi, where's Max Borgi at right now? I have no idea where Max Borgi is. I did not buy into Max Borgi. Somebody tried to get me on Max Borgi, but nice try, buddy. But, and here's what it comes down to, man. Do we trade down? Do we trade down? Is there nobody that is worthy enough for this 27th pick? We're not going to go corner. Linebacker, you could make a case for linebacker. You could make a case for a receiver. I think the best bet is the receiver at the 27th pick. That's your best bet. To me, that's your best bet. If you're going to take a pick, and I'm being unbiased, you guys know the position I would rather go with, because a lot of these receivers that you see in this draft are going in the second round. There's maybe one or two that's going to be jumping up into that. And let me get to the receiver position. Right? Look at the top 5 receivers the Bills should definitely go at. First and foremost, Hyatt. I forgot his first name, but last name Hyatt. The Bills have met with Hyatt. The Bills have met with Zay Flowers, for sure. 5'9", a $182, but doesn't play like he's 182 pounds. You got Jordan Addison, great size, 5'11", 173. You got Tank Dell at 5'8", 165, a little on the smaller side, but boy can run. You got Jackson Smith at 6'1", 196, good solid size. And then you got the Quentin Johnson at 6'3". Now, here's the deal. I'm going to go back to that graphic, but I got to jump on some here. When Josh Allen came into the league, they gave him big receivers. Kelvin Benjamin leading the way. What a disaster. But they gave him big receivers with big catch radius. But here was the problem. Andre Holmes was on the squad, big, tall receiver. These guys could not get separation. So with Josh Allen lacking the accuracy early in his career, with guys that were not catching the football, dropping footballs left, right, and center, and could not get separation, did not have a solid rookie year. Did not. Then you bring in the smaller type receivers, the receivers that can get separation. Because this in this league, it's all about getting separation. You can be 5'6", but if you can get away from the guy covering you and you make space and you're wide open, there's no way a competent quarterback is not going to go to you. There's no way. If you're open, you're getting the ball. This is exactly what Josh Allen said to Diggs at one moment. He's like, "Yo, I don't listen. This trying to time this and time that. Listen, man, get open. I'll get you the football." Verbatim. Those are the words. Get open, and I'm gonna throw you the football. So these are the type of receivers in this draft that would make Josh Allen's day. They're all in the 5'8" to 5'9", 5'11" in that area. Look back at it. Zay Flowers, 5'9". Jordan Addison, 5'11". Tank Dell, 5'8". JSN, 6'1". Happens to be one of the guys that are over 6 feet. And along with TCU's Quentin Johnson. But I like Zay Flowers for this pick. Zay Flowers alongside Josh, alongside Stephon Diggs, alongside a young and upcoming Shakir. And you sprinkle in Deontay Hardy with some speed, changes the game. And this Zay Flowers individual can get separation. This will be big for this team. Think about what Cole Beasley and John Brown did for Josh Allen when they came to Buffalo. Both receivers had career seasons. Josh Allen had his best season, and then he's gotten better every year. But that third year was his major jump. Why? Because he had two smaller receivers that can get separation. The name of the game is to get separation. So looking at these receivers, 27th pick looks pretty damn good. Now here's where the conversation kind of steers a different direction here. What if we don't like what we see and trade down? Here's the deal with trading down. We already are broke. We ain't got no money, right? And every year they put money aside. They put money aside to pay for these draft picks, right? So like we already got the money aside to pay for these draft picks. You got to allocate the money for that. So we trade down. We're now drafting more players, and that's more players for us to pay, and so on and so forth. And we ain't got the money for that. We only got 6 picks. So to trade down, it does make sense because you don't like what you see with the 27th pick. You got to trade down. Potentially, you trade back up. You can. So you trade down, but then you got to pay these players. And do we get the funds for that? Is Brandon Beane trying to pay all these players that he's drafting? Obviously, not everyone's going to make the squad, but you catch my point. That's the trade down part. The pro in that is that, hey, I didn't like anybody in the first round. I'm moved down. I don't have to give these guys these 4 years of guaranteed contract. I don't got to do all that. Now, here's the deal. You trade up. That player's got to be special as heck. And if you trade up for a player, now you got less draft picks that you got to worry about. You've hit on the player that you want. That was the best player available to you on your board, and you've obviously hit a need. So trading up, you're giving up something. And a lot of people cherish these picks. Oh, we can't give. I mean, look at all the trade scenarios that we're going through the offseason. We're talking about trading for D-Hop, trading for this, trading for that. We're not going to, we need those picks. So us trading up, we're giving up picks, but we obviously be grabbing someone special. Would that be in the defensive front? You know for a fact, McDermott loves the trenches. And if he sees a player he likes, he's going to grab that player. But right now, to me, if you're trading up for anybody, it's got to be receiver. How far are you willing to trade up? And who the heck would be available for you to trade up all the way from 27 down to what, 20? How much would you have to give up? You got to give up a fourth at least. Very interesting way to look at it. And here's the thing. And here's this whole situation with trading up, trading down, all that stuff. At the end of the day, here's how I think it's going to go. And I'm not going to keep you guys. Right? I just wanted to get out here real quick and talk about. And I'm probably leaving some things out, but I got to stretch these things out so we can talk about it some more once we get closer because things are going to shake up. Things shake up every day. To me, the two biggest needs on this team is the receiver position and the linebacker position. Those are the two biggest needs. We haven't really filled the void at the linebacker position. Edmonds left. They didn't really bring anybody in to kind of, saying, here's this guy. No, we didn't. Right. And you look at the receiver position, we got two guys that were brought in, but we needed to. Deontay Hardy got quite a bit of money, so he's going to be quite around. He's going to be around for quite some time. He brings the speed, he brings that ability, but we still need that complementary piece to Stephon Diggs that will take the pressure off of him. But we got Gabe Davis. Well, I point you to one game that kind of throws that out the window for me. The Jets game. I'm going to bring that up every single time when they double team Stephon Diggs and they put the number one corner on Gabe Davis, and he was non-efficient. Multiple drops and didn't take enough pressure away from Diggs and didn't take enough pressure off of Josh Allen. And it was one of Josh Allen's worst games, and we didn't have a great game, and we lost that game. So we need a receiver that when you do put your number one receiver or corner on them, it is not going to be a cakewalk that you can lock me down. You're going to have to put some work in. So if Josh Allen is getting doubled, if Stephon Diggs is getting doubled, it is my job as a second receiver to do work. And if it's a number one guy on that squad that's covering me, I got to do my job. Get separation. And if you think, and I see Stephon Diggs putting out there, and you got to do it. I know, I understand it. He has to do it. Receiver one, Gabe Davis. Sorry. But when Sauce Gardner locked his ass up, that did not look like a receiver one to me. You got to do work when you're receiver one. Like, I can tell you right now, there's not one guy in this league that can cover Stephon Diggs one-on-one by himself, no help. I do not believe anybody in this league can cover Stephon Diggs one-on-one. Can't. Jalen Ramsey tried it. You saw what happened. And I'm not talking about the recent game. I'm talking about the game when we beat the Rams. We came back and won. And there was a route that my man ran in the end zone, and he turned Jalen Ramsey around. Touchdown. Stephon Diggs is that guy. He's that good. So you need someone that matches the energy. That's why if we were to bring in a Zay Flowers that matches that energy, that can run routes, that can get separation, it would be troublesome. And here's the beautiful thing about that. We get him on a rookie contract. Let's roll. He learns from Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs is here for another 2 to 3 years. That's the window stays open. Not that it's ever going to close when you got Josh Allen, but that thing stays open. Ain't no screen, nothing. So that to me would be the ideal pick for the Bills. We go with a receiver. We need to keep the offense. We need to keep our offense potent. We need to keep it going. Because with the way this AFC East is building up, you gotta score points. You have to score points. There's no and ifs or buts about it. You gotta score points. And if you can't score points, you're done. And guess what? The last time I checked, the Bills have won 3 straight division titles. And last I checked, the gap is the gap between the Bills and the rest of the teams has shrunk significantly. The Jets are making moves. They claim they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. You know, Aaron Rodgers is going to absolutely make this offense better, the Jets offense better. Tua is going to be healthy. He's looking at changing the way he does things, but they love Tua and they trust Tua. And Tua had when he's on, he's on. So you know the freaking Dolphins are going to be ready to roll. They've definitely shortened the gap between what the Bills have done the last 3 years to now what it is now. It's just not the same. So to me, I like receiver with the first pick. 27th pick makes the most sense. It's the 27th pick. Not like it's the 15th or the 9th pick. Because we botched the last time we had a first round pick. In my opinion, we botched that one. Because right now, that first round pick could probably not be on the team next year. Just saying. And like I said early in the show, when you draft somebody and you want to keep them, you don't even let them touch free agency. You don't even let them have the opportunity to touch free agency because you're locking them down. We didn't lock down Ed Oliver, nor did we lock down Tremaine Edmonds. Just saying. We locked down the guys that matter, Josh Allen. We locked down Matt Milano. We locked down Trey White. Trey White's going to have a big bounce back year. So we'll see how that plays out. But to me, first pick, you got to go receiver. It just makes the most sense right now. It makes the most sense. And if you can come back in the second round and pick up a Drew Sanders, a multiple player in Drew Sanders, he immediately jumps in and takes that role. Him next to Milano, let's roll. A multiple player. And now the third round, now that's when it starts to get tricky. Because if you look at last year, you guys remember who we took in our third round? And we're still kind of scratching our head like, what? We did? Terrell Bernard from where? Okay, I mean, he must be. Are we converting him to safety? Who? Terrell? But okay, I mean, trust the process, I guess. Because that's how I felt. So to me, the first two rounds, crucial. What we do in the third and beyond, it needs to count. Brandon Beane, the pressure's on this year because the picks that you make, they've got to be players that will contribute. And this is where this battle between need and best player available. And I'm still with Bill Polian with taking the best player available. And I got to circle right back. I got to circle right back because that first round pick gets to 27 and I see Zay Flowers available. I see Drew Sanders available, Jack Campbell available, Nolan available, Jalen Carter available, Bijan Robinson available. You got to pick the best player available. You got to help your offense. Y'all know where I'm going with it. I ain't going to say it, but you know where I'm going with it. And then you're set. And now you can take the pressure off your quarterback. And offense is limitless. But and jokes aside, you guys know I was talking about Bijan Robinson. Maybe we can squeeze in Bijan Robinson in the 27th and then trade back up in the second round and pick up Zay Flowers and then we freaking be awesome. Ain't gonna happen. A brother can dream though. A brother can dream. But jokes aside, it makes the most sense to draft that receiver because now you have someone that can be groomed with Stephon Diggs, learn how these guys play, learn from the best in Diggs, and you're set. 2 years from now, he's already in the fold and ready to go. The name of the game, like I said, is separation. We'll see how that plays out. So, folks, short show. It's a short show for me. I just wanted to talk about this 27th pick and the avenues we can go. Trading up, we definitely could trade up. But that player better be a difference maker. You trade up, better be a difference maker. I didn't agree with the trade up of Kaiir Elam. I thought not necessary, but okay. I understand it because he was your best player on your board, still left there, and you had to get him. I get it. I wasn't a big fan of it. But you do what you got to do. I'm looking forward to a big year out of Kaiir Elam. But this year, we got to hit. It's got to hit. And we got to hit where this player is an instant contributor. And to me, where I see where a void can be filled and you can immediately get someone to start and play is at the receiver position. Absolutely. Right there. So before I get out of here, if there's any questions, draft questions, concerns, you don't like the route that these Bills potentially could take by trading down, or you have a solution that, you know what, this might work for the Bills, Drop that in the comment section. I'll try to read that up. By the way, if you guys are tuned in for the first time, this is the Rico Report. It's Buffalo Fanatics. Smash that like while you guys are in here. Which player would you want the Bills to draft with the 27th pick? You guys have all been doing your mock drafts. I've yet to do a mock draft. A full mock draft. I've yet to do a full mock draft. I did one just to kind of test to see what it's like, and I was lost. I was like, what? All these players are gone? Golly, okay, I gotta do my homework to know who's who. Who are you looking at that makes the most sense for these Bills to draft? And if you like nobody on this squad, I get it. Trade down. You might have to. See how it plays out. But this AFC East is definitely going to challenge the Bills. It's definitely going to challenge the Bills. I'll tell you right now, man. Right now, the bets are on. The bets are on. Bet Online has the Bills at 10.5 wins. The win total is at 10.5. So 11 wins is what they're saying the Bills are going to get. I think that's about correct. I actually think that's accurate. We got 13 games last year, but also we were banged up. But here's the thing: we're gonna get healthy. But guess what? In the midst of us getting healthy, the teams beneath us have gotten better. We didn't really add any huge pieces. We're just getting healthier. But Bet Online has us at 11 wins. You guys find that accurate? Is 11 wins too low? Are they insulting us? Or is that about right? Or do you guys have us winning only 10? Maybe 9 games? Are we missing the playoffs? I doubt it. But interesting nonetheless. I got a comment coming from Dirty Jersey. What's up, Dirty Jersey? Dirty Jersey says, yo, let's not pretend this O-line is anything to be super confident in. Right tackle has been sus. That receiver doesn't matter if Josh can't get him the ball. You're absolutely right. And that's why you need to protect Josh Allen. And the fact of the matter is this: we were injured last year. We were banged up. And Brandon Beane really does believe in Spencer Brown. And he believes that Spencer Brown, healthy, will be a big asset to the team. So maybe Josh Allen won't have to run for his life, left, right, center, and having David Questenberry jump in and have his arm almost torn off. Just saying. But I get it. The concern is beef up that O-line. But you can only beef up that O-line so much. You got to get your weapons. You got to get your guy your weapons. My man Bobby says, "Yo, who's your favorite receiver this year, Rico?" Well, listen, Bobby has convinced me enough in the group chat, and Pierre as well. Uh, listen, this Zay Flowers, man, he's looking damn good. But I have to be fair. I have not taken a deep dive into the receiver room all the way to look for those gems, because once the big dogs are gone, now you got to really like start doing your homework and seeing who's available and who's nice and who's gonna do work. But to me, right now, my top receiver, based on the very little homework that I've done, and I mean, so I'm not saying I didn't do any. I've looked at some guys, right? But Zay Flowers stands out to me the most. And then after watching Zay, then listening to Bucky Brooks, I went back to watching Zay, and all I see is Antonio Brown, and I'm fixated on that. It sucks. You know what I mean? I want to be like, but then I don't want to jump into what I was last year when I was enamored with Brees Hall. That's all I stuck on. I watched Brees Hall all day, and I was just fixated on that. That's why I was so heartbroken when we didn't grab him. I promised myself I'm not going to try to fall in love with anybody. Yeah, so I mean, so Zay Flowers looks very good to me. Looks very good to me. Sharif Cole says, yo, receiver isn't just short term, but long term as well. Diggs will be 30. How much time do we have playing at the elite level? That's exactly right. That's exactly why I say Zay Flowers would be a great pick. And I'm using Zay Flowers because he's my guy that I'm looking at right now. Could be Quentin Johnson later on, where I'm like, ooh, I like Quentin Johnson. That's a great guy. We'll see. But man, oh man, that would be a solid pick. If we pick up a receiver like that, that opens up a lot for this offense. And that helps out, you know who, Ken Dorsey. Because there comes a time when Ken Dorsey, you can call the plays, but if your guys aren't executing, it's a whole different ballgame. Can I say somebody else that I need this person to step up this year? I don't know if you guys feel I've been on this person's ass early in this person's career. Then I backed off a little bit because I saw some things, saw some good things. But our tight end, Dawson Knox, I'd like to see more from Dawson Knox. I'm not saying that he's garbage but I'd like to see more out of Dawson Knox. I'd like to I'd like them to figure out a way to make him a more of a focal point in this offense, especially if we're not going to address the receiver in the first round. You gotta help out your quarterback. Gotta help out your quarterback. But I gotta jump into more mock drafts and see what's going on, man. Texas so scary says, yo, receiver class is weak, but the class is deep. Is weak, but it's deep. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out, man. We got to see how this plays out. My man Johnny Blaze, what's up, Johnny? Johnny Blaze says, "Yo, guarantee we'll need another guard, center, and right tackle next year." So, Johnny, are you saying that we should address that early this year so we don't have to deal with that next year? Because I don't want us to have any needs. Because then we pigeonhole ourselves and having to pick a player, and if he's garbage, it sets us back, i.e., Sammy Watkins. So we hope that we do so well and efficient in free agency that we're not in a need basis. But you know what I'm talking about, Johnny. Johnny says, I think Quentin and Addison have a better shot of being there for us at 27 than Njigba and Flowers. You know what? And if that's the case, Johnny, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's where I'm like, shit. If those two guys are gone, let's say Addison, I love Addison's size. I love his ability to play inside and out. His 22 season play a lot of inside, a lot of outside. He's polished. Those two guys are gone, along with Jackson. Bam. Hey, yo, where do we go? It brings me back to the running back room. Bijan Robinson, if he's still there, would have to be the pick, would not. Zay Flowers is gone. Addison is gone. You picking up Josh Downs? Heck no, you're not picking up Josh Downs. Jack Campbell with a first round pick, 27th pick? I don't know. This is where the BPA comes in. And if the running back position is still there, just because you have Cook, just because you have Harris, all that stuff, you got to take the best player available. And I don't want to just base it on just the running back position. I'm just generally speaking. Don't draft for need. And I love what Bill Polian said, draft best player available in your first two, because no matter what, you get a dog if you draft the best player available. Even if that room is crowded. But if that player is elite, that player is nice like that, they will find a way on the field. And they will be a difference maker. But like Johnny said, man, those guys could be gone. And then what? And then what? Or trade down. Or you trade down. You got to find a partner, though. You got to find a partner. And that's the thing with trade down. It sounds easy for us to say, hey, just trade down. But you got to find a partner. The amount of draft stories that we heard that last minute they said yes. You know what I'm saying? Remember the juggling that Brandon Beane had to do to go to trade down and send Glenn to the freaking Bengals and then do another maneuvering to get down to the 7th pick. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. To get down to the 7th pick in the 2018 draft to get Josh Allen. Huge. So you gotta find it. Find your partner. Do Cincinnati's OG Blue. What's up, man? He goes, yo, Addison will be there, Rico. If Addison is there, man, and Zay Flowers is not, then I mean it makes sense to grab Addison because Addison is good too, solid. But here's my question to you guys. If Addison and Zay Flowers are there, who do you grab first? I'm taking Flowers. Do you see Flowers as a better prospect over Addison? It's a question, man. Buff716, what's up, man? He says, yo, Bijan's freaking nuts if he's there at 27 and we take him. You should not be pissed. I will not be pissed if we take Bijan Robinson at 27. I can tell you that right now. I will be elated because if you guys go watch Bijan Robinson again and you truly watch him, not the highlights, because the highlights are pretty, but you watch this brother play, he doesn't need elite linemen. He's that good. And that in this league, when you don't need elite linemen and you can get away with average linemen, bro, baller. This boy can play, man. Pass protect, got you. Catch the ball, got you. Run inside, got you. Run outside, definitely got you. Come on now. He's got to be available. But I'm not putting my hopes up. I'm not putting my hopes up like I did last year because that's just gonna get me in trouble. That's just gonna get me in my feelings. It's gonna get me in trouble. I don't want that. I don't want it. Matt C says, "Yo, I don't know, man. I like Addison, man. I think he might be better at this point. Flowers is good, but I don't know about his long-term health. He's just a little too small. He's too small unless he got that dog in him like AB. Listen, man, he's a buck 80, 5'9", but he don't play like that. He don't play like a little guy. He doesn't. And that's the key thing, man. There's these guys that small frame. Like, look at the receiver. Look at the receiver for Devin Smith. Devin Smith for the Eagles. Oof. He reminds me of Todd Pinkston. Todd Pinkston was a skinny rake of a man. But Todd Pinkston was no big time receiver. Donovan, is it Donovan? I can't remember his name. Is Devin? Donovan Smith, the receiver for the Eagles. Boy can fly. His speed gets him, you know what I'm saying, in to avoid big hits. He doesn't take big hits, but you wonder if he does take a big hit, how much can he take? That's why you want a little more beef on these receivers. But Deshaun Jackson has had a lengthy career and he's never a big boy, never a big guy. So you just never know. Devontae, excuse me. I'm saying Devin. Devontae Smith, thank you very much. But like him, right, he gives me Todd Pinkston vibes. He gives me Deshaun, but Deshaun Jackson has been in this league a long time. And obviously father time has caught up to him, but for a good chunk of his career, he was pretty damn healthy. And he did his damn thing. Just saying. My man Cincinnati says, "Yo," he says, "Tape don't lie, Rico. No receiver tape is better. He has a dog in it. Watch the tape. I will definitely. I'm gonna definitely get on that. Addison. I'm gonna definitely get on that. But listen, folks, this 27th pick by these Bills, it's got to be good. He's Brandon Beane has to hit. Brandon Beane must hit. He can't miss. He can't miss on this one. He can't. Oh, we're gonna let him sit down and learn. No, we cannot have that. You pick a guy in the first round, he's got to come onto the team and contribute right away. Even if you take somebody that he's not even on our radar. You took a left guard, and that left guard better be plug and play. Plug and play. You take the right guard, plug and play. You take a safety in the first round, plug and play. I'm just saying, do not grab a guy that's got to sit and learn. And it does us no good at this show, right? It does us no good. It does us no good. I don't want to hear anything about it. You pick someone in the first round, you better be able to play his ass. Did we like what you did with Kyer Elam? Heck no. You had this man splitting time. For what reason? Play the man right off the bat. He's going to take his licks. Yes. But guess what? For a guy that took his licks and had some moments where he's like, ooh, not looking good, he's damn sure redeemed himself too. So imagine if you just let him take his licks. He'll be more prepared to come in and ball out the second year. Now, we don't know what's going to happen this year. Like, come on now. Middle of the season, you could already see Isaiah McKenzie not falling out of favor. I don't want to call it falling out of favor, but I think the McKenzie juice kind of wore off a little bit. So then here comes Cole Beasley. Here comes John Brown. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys are jumping in and taking some reps away from McKenzie. So come on now. Get Khalil Shakir in the freaking game. But nope. We're going to wait it out and get our veterans to get the freaking play. Knock it off, man. Knock it all the way off. You want your ballers on the field. Listen, man, I'm going to end the show like this. When Dion was working for NFL Network, he had this thing where he says, if you get the call, that means you balled. Fam, if these guys are balling, listen, man, you call them and you say, yo, this is where I need you to be. I need you on the field making plays. So if you draft a dude, let him play, man, especially in the first and second round. You got to play. Your first round draft pick is a pillar. That's what's got to build this team, this foundation. The foundation of this team. I need my player playing right now. all this waiting and this and that, man. Yeah, that's for the dogs, man. I don't want that. I want my players playing right now. Let's go. Let these guys get their licks, man. You got to. Sick of all this little, let's just wait it up, big fella. You sit on the sideline and watch all the old guys do their thing. You'll learn a little something there, Bucko. And these guys these players these days are ready to go right this second. Ready to go right this second. Look at the NBA. These guys are coming in right now and balling out. Jeez, man. Anyway, folks, it's my time. I hope you actually enjoyed this podcast. 27th pick. It's a big one. It's a doozy. The draft is around the corner. And I hope you guys join us as we do it, as we take you in to the war room, to the draft room. Tune in with us as we watch and we break everything down as the draft is going. Trades will be made, teams will move up. Join the excitement with the Buffalo Fanatics when draft time comes around. Myself, Z-Bot, Rev, my man Don Trotman's going to be showing up, holding it down and being our draft resident. He knows his stuff. You know what I'm saying? And my man P Money's going to jump in there, and we have to get Bobby in there. But listen, Bobby, I don't care if you have to call in. Just call in and hang out with us for half an hour. You know what I'm saying? I love what you do on IG. Love it. But let's hear the OG get on the mic and say something, man. And if you don't want to get on the mic, jump on your little iPhone and chat in the little mic. You ain't got to have all this. You don't have to have all the production. Just jump in there and you iPhone users, that's what you guys do. And you just get in there or get your stupid little earbuds in there. You can tell I'm an iPhone hater. Team Android. Anyway, I digress. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you love the show and if you enjoyed yourself and you enjoyed talking football, enjoyed talking Bills football, enjoyed talking draft talk a little bit, smash that like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel. What you waiting for? Draft is around the corner, people. The draft is around the corner. Get ready to get the draft picks wrong. Just like you guys got all your your brackets wrong for college. You're gonna get it wrong. We all do get it wrong. The question is, will you get at least the right position? If you get the right position, you're in the ballpark. Zay Flowers is the pick. I think that might be the safest pick. Now I gotta do homework on Addison. So we're gonna go see. We're gonna see. Well, listen, folks, stop playing, man. Be with us. Come draft time. This is the channel to be. We're gonna have a panel. We don't just talk draft and this, we joke, we laugh, we crack jokes, we have a good ass time. Crack open the whiskey or whatever the hell you guys do. Hang out with us. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be there for hours upon hours. You guys know how it is, man. Shit, I wish they could invite me to the war room. Could you imagine me in the war room? Brandon, what are we doing, fam? Oh, not a whole lot? Oh, shut up. Oh, hold on a second. You ain't gonna disrespect me like that, Brandon. But we'll see, man. We'll see how this team plays out. Listen, man. Everyone's making their draft picks. Everybody's making their mock drafts. I haven't officially jumped into the mock draft to really jump in, but listen, man, it's time. And I'm just gonna leave it at this, man. Best player available. If it happens to be an RB, don't scoff at it and don't be shocked if he grabs Bijan Robinson, because I'll be elated. But if he doesn't, I ain't mad at it, because also we know we need offensive side, we need points. And if it's Zay Flowers, it's Addison, if it's Jackson and Nick, but freaking falls to who knows? But it's got to be the receiver pick. Selfishly, you know what I want? I want the RB, but the right pick should be receiver. Let's just wait. Let's wait it out, man. I'm gonna whisper in my man Zab Mafia says, "Yo, man, I'm just gonna subconsciously just start sending messages to Brandon Beane." So you know what I'm saying? I'll just start sending him Dijon mustard all the time, and all he hears is Dijon, Dijon, Dijon. And when he's ready to write the pick, and he sees Bijan, he's just gonna let me put that in there, because I've been seeing Dijon mustard and Bijan, it just makes sense. Let me just draft that, and all of a sudden Rico has influenced a running back to the Bills. Just imagine. But you know what? Pierre just put that way. I keep telling you guys I'm going to sign off, but I'm not. Hold on a second now. But just imagine. Josh Allen under center. You got Diggs to your right. You got on the left side, maybe Zay Flowers falls to the second round. Doubtful. Or you know what? Quentin Johnson falls to the second round. But the first round, best player available, Bijan Robinson. Could you imagine having to, man, stack the box? Are you kidding me? You want to stack the box? Yo, number 14, do work. Could you imagine that? All right, don't draft a running back. Draft Zay Flowers. We still got some decent little backs in there. I want to see what James Cook. I mean, jokes aside, I want to see what James Cook's got. James Cook, I hope he puts on 10 pounds this summer. 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and comes in looking like his brother. Now we have a different ballgame. But now I'm putting myself into a whole nother. Listen, see, Pierre's messing with me. I don't want to get into that. I need to stop talking. I'm gonna stop. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. You guys know clearly I'm kidding. I mean, we're probably not going to draft a running back. Harris is there. Freaking Naeem Hines. We got James Cook. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But a brother can dream. I already got my heart broken last year. I'm not trying to have that again. So I'm just putting it out there. And if it happens, hey, so be it. But the right move is to fortify the offense and put points on the board. That's what you got to do. You got to do it. It's just what has to be done. And if Bijan Robinson happens to be there, then so be it. We got to grab him. Anyway, that's it for me, folks. You guys have yourself a great evening. And we will catch you guys on the flip side next week. And we'll do it again like we always do. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. And the draft is around the corner, man. What will Brandon Beane do? You got to hit. No miss. You got to hit. You got to be like my guy on the Dunce. What is his name? The African warrior, Izzy. Just knocked out Pereira. You gotta strike. You know what I'm saying? We've taken a couple L's. Now we gotta jump back there and give them a 1-2 piece combo, man, and get that first round, second round pick. We gotta nail it. And now we're back in business. And now we can start bullying these guys in the AFC East. I don't care if they get Rodgers. I don't care if they have the Miami Dolphins feeling all nice. Get a couple dogs on this team, and it's all right, folks. Y'all enjoy yourself. It's your boy Rico. Have yourself a great evening. And I'm gone. Let's have a good one. Catch you guys on the flip side. Let's go.